In this video, I'm going to show you how to install Ubuntu Linux on a virtual machine using VirtualBox. First step is to download Ubuntu itself. So I'm on the Ubuntu website and I'm just going to click download. You can use this link here to download the latest long-term support version, which at the time of making this video is 20.04. However, when I download Linux distributions, I tend to use BitTorrents because they're generally faster. So down here where it says other ways to download, and Ubuntu is available via BitTorrents, we're going to click BitTorrents. Okay, and now we're presented with Ubuntu 21.10, which is the very latest version of Ubuntu, but it's not the latest long-term support version. So I recommend that you download the latest long-term support version, this one here, because it's going to be more stable than the very latest version. So I'm going to click this link here, Ubuntu 20.04.3 desktop 64-bit. That downloads the torrent file, and you just need to open that up in your BitTorrent client and let that download. I'm not going to do that because I've already done so. Okay, next thing to do is to download VirtualBox. So in this tab, I'm already at virtualbox.org. Click download VirtualBox. It will take us to the download page. Now, because I'm running Windows 11, I'm going to click Windows Hosts. Let that download. Fabulous. While I'm here, I'm also going to download the VirtualBox extension pack for a few reasons. I'll explain those later. So because it's the same download regardless of what operating system you use, just click all supported platforms. Great, that's downloaded. So let's now install VirtualBox. So I'm going to open that up there. Okay, we don't need to change any of the default settings here, so let's just rattle through it. Yes, install. Okay. Okay, so it's finished installing, and yes, start Oracle VM VirtualBox. Okay, and here it is. This is VirtualBox. So first thing is to install that extension pack that we downloaded a moment ago. So click Preferences, then Extensions, and this button here, and there is our download of the extension pack. Open. You're about to install. Yes, that's fine. Install that. Read this agreement very carefully. I agree. Let that install. It was installed successfully. Hooray. Okay. Click OK. Now, let's create our virtual PC. So let's click New. So name and operating system. I'm just going to type Ubuntu. Now notice when I start typing Ubuntu, it changes these options here automatically. So it knows that it's Linux and it knows that it's Ubuntu 64-bit. So now let's allocate some memory. These will be different depending on the specification of your machine, but I'm going to move this up to the maximum recommended amount, just very roughly. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, and you don't need to change this. Create a virtual hard disk now is fine, so create. Now we have to allocate some hard drive space. How much you want to allocate depends on what you're going to use Ubuntu for. I'm just going to put, I don't know, 80 gigabytes, that's fine. I don't need to change this. That's fine as it is. VirtualBox disk image and dynamically allocate the hard drive space. So create. There we have our virtual machine. It has no operating system at the moment. We will put that on in just a moment, but a few more options that we need to configure before we do that. So hit settings, then in the general options, go to the advanced tab. We've got shared clipboard, bidirectional, drag and drop, bidirectional. That should be pretty self-explanatory what those options do. Now onto the system. We've already allocated memory, so don't need to change that. But let's go to the processor, and I'm going to increase this to the recommended, to the maximum recommended amount. So that's 4 processors in my case. Now display, video memory. I tend to crank that all the way up. And if you've got more than one display, this is where you would change that. I do have 2 displays, but for the purpose of keeping things simple, I'm just going to keep that at 1 for now. And this option here, graphics controller. So by default, it comes up with VM SVGA. I recommend changing it to VBox SVGA because it will make life a lot easier for you when you want to change the resolution, the screen size of your Ubuntu virtual machine to cover the full screen. Great, we're almost there. One more thing we need to do is go to storage. Now, under where it says controller, IDE, empty, click that. And then come over to here and click this disk icon. And then choose create a virtual optical disk. Click add. Let's locate our Ubuntu download, which is here. It's an ISO, a disk image file, so that's fine. Open that, choose, and we are good to go. I think so. Okay, that. So let's start our virtual machine. Let's see. Let's cross our fingers and see what happens. Okay, so far so good. A quick tip here: if you want to put VirtualBox into full screen mode, hold down the right control key and F. Okay, so just checking the disks. No errors found. Woo! Always a good sign. Looking good. Okay, so let's install Ubuntu. Now I am British and I'm used to a UK keyboard layout, so I'm going to select that. Okay, some installation options here. They're all pretty self-explanatory. You can change what you want. I'm going to keep it as it is. So let's continue there. Okay, installation type. So it says here erase disk and install Ubuntu. Don't panic. That does not mean it's going to erase your computer's hard drive. It's going to erase the virtual machine's hard drive. So it's not going to kill your computer. This is in fact the option that you want, erase disk and install Ubuntu. It's talking about the virtual machine, not your actual computer. So leave that install now. Okay, and it's just telling us what partitions it's going to make on that virtual machine. That's fine, continue. Okay, so I live in the Canary Islands and it's automatically detected my time zone. Perfect. So, my name, David. My password is none of your business. Okay, now because I have to enter a password to access my Windows operating system, I don't really see much point in adding further authentication to get into my Ubuntu as well. So I'm going to put login automatically. And that's good. Let's hit continue. So it's now going to start installing Ubuntu, and I'll come back when that's finished. Okay, So that's finished installing. All we need to do now is restart the virtual machine, and fingers crossed we should be in business. Okay, so it might say please remove the installation medium, then press enter. Just hit enter. Okay, fingers crossed. There we go. We're up and running. So we're prompted to connect our online accounts. I won't do that for now. Live patch. Yeah, I won't do that now either. And no, thank you. Don't send system info. Next. Next. And you're ready to go. Okay, so there we have it. Ubuntu successfully installed on a virtual machine. I hope you found this video useful, and I'll see you next time. Bye!